Hey everyone, Jaquan here, and welcome back. Got myself playing Ruby Steel today. Got Ruby Steel against the Amber Emerald with the Chernadogs without the Chernabog. But yeah, with this iteration here for Ruby Steel, I did showcase it on my deck profile video here, and wanted to bring in something a little different to see how it kind of plays with the local meta. Now, with this particular build here, we do mainly want to focus on the power line shifts, slowing down the game states with Captain Hook and Calhoun's. And then we're going to also want to focus on shifting in Mulan, shifting in Ariel, and also playing out the Robin Hood, because Robin Hood, Powerline, and Ariel all go hand in hand with Maui Half Shark as well. So that's why we are running a large amount of songs here, because Powerline shift is when you sing with it, then you'd be able to look at the top 4 cards of your deck. If it's a song, then you get to play it for free. And alongside with Robin Hood, right, where we're going to mail the top 4 cards of our deck, any song or action that's 6 or less, we also get to play that for free. And all those cards will trigger Ariel Shift's ability, because it just says when you play a song. Doesn't mean when you sing a song, but when you play a song, you're then able to pay 2 to deal 3 damage to any character. And then also, of course, the Maui Half Shark will gain you a lore every time that you play an action. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it here. So when it comes to this matchup, I will be going on the draw, so second. And with that being said, going second here against a very aggro deck, we do want to mainly focus our mulligans on getting the Mulan, so that way we can slowly set up the Mulan shift to be able to take out 3 characters later in the game, and then also set up Calhoun's and Captain Hook's as well to stop the opponent from questing. Okay, so looks like the opponent starts it off with a Daisy Duck, and then we're gonna follow up with our Mulan. So Mulan's gonna, when it's played, you draw a card and you discard a card. And the Mulan shift here is a shift 5, right? And when we challenge into a character, we can deal its strength to 2 other characters as well. So it does have good crowd control ability. Hopefully our Mulan 1-drop will be able to stick around until then though. So Daisy will trigger, and then we'll be able to add a card to our hand if it's a character. Okay, so we're going to ink the Stitch Surfer, and then we're going to play a Yzma. So Yzma is also similar to Mulan, where you just draw a card and you discard a card. And with this particular Amber Emerald strategy, because we saw Surfer Stitch being inked, I do have a feeling that these colors also are going to play the new Circle of Life, which is why they're playing so many cards that draw and discard, because you can discard really big characters and then bring it back with Circle of Life. And yeah, Circle of Life is a sing together. I believe it's 8 cost, and you can pretty much bring back any character you want from your discard. So it's a really, really strong card from Fabled. Okay, so on our turn, we are going to follow up with a Calhoun. So Calhoun is able to get rid of the Yzma, but it's still going to need a little bit more strength to challenge into the Daisy Duck. So the opponent plays the Lady and also an Enchanted Tramp, building up the board relatively well and quick for that matter as well. So we just want to be able to also keep pace and play just as stronger characters that will be able to challenge multiple times. So we are going to play another Calhoun. This is going to at least allow us to gain some lore once they are ready to challenge in. But most importantly, the 3 strength does matter quite a bit, and then also the resist as well to stay alive to hopefully challenge another time. Okay, so the opponent plays Bobby, also new card from Fabled, and does the exact same thing as Mulan and Yzma. So you draw a card and you discard a card. So this is a really, really interesting strategy that we're seeing here in the Amber Emerald side. So they're going to play the 7 cost Tramp. it does reduce its cost for every character that you have on the board. So it essentially is a 2 cost, being able to be played on turn 3, which is insane. And when it's played, you can draw cards equal to the amount of other characters you have on the board and then discard that same amount of cards. So again, very, very strong strategy if you're trying to sift through your deck, discard all your larger characters and then play Circle of Life to bring something back. Okay, so we're going to be playing a Robin Hood Sharpshooter, one of my favorite cards here. And really happy to showcase the Enchanted again. And luckily, you know, Robin Hood has stayed within the rotation, being in Shimmering Skies here. And there's so many songs in our deck right now that can trigger off the Robin Hood. Hopefully we can combine the Robin Hood with an Aerial Shift or even a Maui Half Shark. Okay, so another Daisy gets played, and there's a huge amount of lore on the board right now if he starts to quest it. There is also a Pirate's Life in our deck, so hopefully Robin Hood Sharpshooter could also get that out a little earlier and maybe save us from being quested out early. Okay, so he's going to quest in with Daisy. We're going to add a power line from the top of our deck to our hand. He's going to quest in with Yzma, Lady, and the Tramp. Bringing him to 8. Oh, it looks like he's going to sing together. So he's going to sing together for Circle of Life. And yeah, Circle of Life can bring back any character. So it brings back the 6-cost Tramp. And the 6-cost Tramp is super annoying. So essentially, anytime on the opponent's turn, if a card gets banished, you draw a card. And this is including himself. So even if we were to target that Tramp and take it out first, he's still going to draw a card. So very, very, very annoying. And yes, that is a proxy Circle of Life, just because it is still pretty brand new into the Fabled set here. Not everyone is able to get products, so again, it's just a casual league, so we are allowing proxying just for the first couple weeks here, just to kind of get everyone, you know, playing at locals again, right? And it's not like it's a set champs or anything like that, so. But yeah, we really need to do something against this board, because if we leave that board as wide as it is, he is going to be able to win relatively quickly. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 actually on the board. So I think he does have lethal if we don't take out anything. So we have to be reactive on this turn. Hopefully Robin Hood Sharpshooters also be able to get us maybe a Strength of a Raging Fire, Be King Undisputed, or even a Pirate's Life for that matter. So we're going to play 3 to play the new Lilo that came on Fabled. So this Lilo is when it's played, all your other characters will gain Challenger +2. And when Lilo quests, you can also give an alien Challenger +2. But it's mainly here to act like a creaky substitute for Steel, giving all of our characters the ability to challenge 2 additional strength into another character here, which is going to make Calhoun's very, very good in this case, because now Calhoun can challenge in for 5 strength, being able to take out a lot of stuff here. But the only downside is, again, being the fact that Tramp is on there, he is going to draw a card for every character that gets banished on our turn here. And unfortunately, with these colors that we're playing in Ruby Steel, there isn't a way to exert that Tramp to be able to challenge in. So at this point, we really just need to, you know, get in there and start defeating some characters. Now I'm not too sure if it was a misplay challenging in with the Mulan taking itself out, because next turn we could potentially draw into that Mulan shift, and it'll be exactly 5 ink on the next turn, and then we would be able to take out 3 characters in total if he had anything exerted for us to challenge. But at this point, like, my main focus was just trying to simplify the game state to be able to, slowly take away his stuff and hopefully slow him down while still building up our board and having a lot of our stuff live from the challenges there. Okay, so Robin Hood's going to quest in for 2 and use its ability by revealing the top 4 cards, and you get to play an action that's 6 or less for free. So Robin Hood does get us the Bee King Undisputed, which allows the opponent to choose one of their characters and banish it. So he's going to choose Bobby. So now the opponent's left with 4 characters on board: Tramp, Daisy, Lady, and Yzma. And then we're also going to play the power line to hopefully set up some plays next turn by singing with power line. It's crazy to me that the Amber Emerald, I guess, dog deck has so many ways to get out big characters very early in the game. Like, if you can see here, he only has 3 ink right now, but he has so many large characters on board. So he plays a Yzma, drawing a card, discarding a card. Probably just sifting through to maybe find a Circle of Life. I wonder, because he plays Circle of Life, if he also plays Under the Sea as well. It would make sense because it is the only board wipe, and he does have quite a bit of characters that would be able to sync together for Under the Sea. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does come down. So it does play Tramp again. And again, because there is also 5 other characters on the board, Tramp only costs 2 to play. And then he's going to be able to draw 5 cards and discard 5 cards from his hand. And the chances that he probably drew himself like another Circle of Life is probably very high. Okay, so he's going to quest in. Daisy Duck's going to get us a Captain Hook. Yeah, the 7 cost Trampy is very, very strong, especially because, like, the fact that it can reduce its own costs, and this is a deck that usually goes wide anyways, and on top of that, we don't have other board wipes other than Under the Sea, right? Tramp 7-drop just goes bananas. Like, getting it out on turn 4, right, playing it for 4 cost is insane. Especially because that thing has, I think it was like 7 or 8 willpower. And usually by turn 4, there's not too many things that would be able to challenge into it. And on top of that, it's a 7 cost, so it will be able to sing with one other character, Circle of Life, Under the Sea, and any other songs that this person plays. Okay, so we're going to ink that Captain Hook, because again, it's not going to do us too much right now. We're going to shift in the power line. And again, power line is when it sings a song, you can review the top 4 cards of the deck and play any song for free that's cost 9 or less. In this variation for Ruby Steel, I didn't choose to play Eye to Eye just because out of testing quite a bit, Eye to Eye just seems like a win more card. And a lot of times than most, it just was too beneficial for the opponent, right? Because it's both players gain 2 lore and both players draw 2 cards. Okay, so Robin's going to quest in, and then we're going to get ourselves a Strength of a Raging Fire from its ability. So that means we can deal 5 damage to any character right now. That was a pretty decent play. I think Pirate's Life would have still been preferred, but at least Robin Hood not only gave us 2 lore, but it now acts as a single target removal. Okay, so Powerline is going to sing another Strength of a Raging Fire. I deal 5 damage to that Tramp. Unfortunately, still not enough to be able to take it out though. Because the Tramp 7 cost and the Yzma is already 3 lore, putting him to 18. We also have to be worried about Go-Go because he is playing Emerald as well. Okay, so Powerline's going to trigger, looking at the top 4 cards, and unfortunately we whiff. It does tend to happen. This deck does have a pretty high ceiling, but it does rely on RNG sometimes, just because of power line looking at top 4. Sometimes you can whiff. Robin Hood Sharpshooter looking at the top 4, you can also whiff with that. So sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, right? So you can't win them all. Luckily for us, we are able to play in the dock. And at this point, it's just mainly for extra characters, right? If we have another Lilo, we can play it down. Doc's going to be able to gain 2 strength to be able to challenge more characters. So Calhoun challenges in, we gain 2 lore, and we still need to take out more characters right now. Because the Tramp 7 cost, I think it has 2 on the board. And they both quest for 2, right? And then there's a Yzma, so that's exactly 5, even if we take out the exerted Yzma. Yeah, so I just scoop it up, just because there's no way for us to, get over, and he does show me that he does have Go-Go anyways, so he could have won by just challenging into one of my characters, dealing some damage to it, and then finishing us off with Go-Go. So very, very nice showcase of the Amber Emerald deck here. It's a very, very strong deck, so definitely don't sleep on that. Circle of Life and Tramp 7 cost is crazy. And also in this variation, you could also play Clarabelle, right? So you can draw a bunch of cards, discard a bunch of cards, discard stuff like Stitch Surfer or Surfer Stitch, Clarabelle 7 drop, Tramp 7 drop. You can play like a bunch of anything that you don't usually ink up to by discarding it and then just getting it back with Circle of Life. So it looks like that seems to be the way that Amber Emerald is pivoting if they don't go super aggro, right? They have the option still to go aggro early in the game and then stabilize from being able to play very large characters that the opponent may not be able to keep up with because it's so early in the game, right? Because as you saw that like Tramp came out very early in the game, only costed 2, and then next turn he was able to sing Circle of Life and bringing out another large character with it as well. I wonder personally how consistent the Amber Emerald deck is when it comes to that strategy by drawing cards, discarding cards, and then singing Circle of Life. Let me know if you've tested with the Amber Emerald deck yet for this meta. Sounds really fun. I might build my own variation as well. Unfortunately, because this is a local leagues game, I don't have the direct deck list to this Amber Emerald. But what I can do is that I'll put down in the description my personal opinion of what it could look like. And that way it just gives you guys a better idea of where to start, right? At least you have a good foundation if you do choose to build the Amber Emerald deck yourself. Okay, so obviously we're starting it off going first. There is no world where I'm going to let an aggro player go first again. And again, in this case here, we just want to mulligan for Mulan 1-drop, Captain Hook's 1-drop, and then hopefully a Calhoun on turn 2, Aerial on turn 3, and then maybe an Aerial Shift on turn 4, and then start singing stuff, dealing damage to his readied characters. Because that was kind of the problem that we had, was just that he had a lot of readied characters that he just played that we couldn't even touch. I think in this case here, it's probably going to be a safe bet to ink cards like Maui Half Shark early in the game, because I don't think it's going to be played very much in this matchup, just because it's very slow, right? It doesn't have rush, it can't challenge into things right away, and usually by turn 6 he probably, as you can saw there, like by turn 6 he had like 5, 6, 8 characters on board, so that was pretty insane. I think mainly our focus is just to try to get the Mulan Shift to be able to deal out the crowd control damage, and then also Aerial Shift as well. So that's the whole reason why we play those cards in the deck, is to be able to slow aggro down and then come back by playing Maui Half Shark, Robin Hoods, and like other cards later, right? Alright, so we started off by inking the Captain Hook, playing the Mulan, drawing us a card and discarding a card. I like the synergy with Mulan in this deck too, because if, let's just say, you draw multiple Calhouns or even multiple Docks, you have that option of discarding it, right? So it just kind of makes your curve a little less awkward, because there have been so many games I watched, like let's just say Amber Steel or Amethyst Steel, where they have 2, even sometimes 3 Docks in their hand, right? And you can't really do much with it. You're kind of forced to either play 1 and discard your whole hand and then draw 2, or play out the first couple of docks without any effects before resolving like the second or third dock in your hand. Okay, so he inks the lady playing a Daisy Duck again, so standard opener. We ink a Pirate's Life since we're not going to see that for a while, and then we're going to play the Power Line. So Singer 4. Power Line does have the option here of singing Be King Undisputed, which could be helpful if we can minimize the amount of characters that he has on board. Otherwise, he might just, take out a really useless character that doesn't have an ability anymore after it's been played, right? Like Yzma or Bobby, stuff like that. Okay, so you're playing the Ursula Vanessa Singer. Interesting. I guess Ursula Vanessa Singer can also sing You're Welcome, and then also helps, of course, with the Circle of Life being able to sing together. But I'm still going to play Be King Undisputed just because both of those targets are really good to hit. So, if he doesn't want to aggro me out, take out the Daisy, that's fine. But I think in this particular variation of Amber Emerald, Ursula Vanessa is probably the way to go on keeping it on board and then giving up the Daisy. Because he didn't quest with Daisy last turn, but he does choose to take out the Ursula Vanessa instead from the Bee King. So we'll see what he's up to here. He might maybe change his approach and go more aggro rather than going wide and singing together. Okay, so we're going to ink the Mulan Shift. Probably because we have another one in our hand, or our hand's just fully clogged with uninkables. Okay, so we're playing the Lilo for no effect, but I think the main focus right now is just trying to get characters on the board. Okay, so he's going to play out the Bobby, drawing him a card and discarding a card. Oh, he inked an Enchanted Lady. Damn, so he has an Enchanted Lady and Enchanted Tramps in his deck. Alright, so he plays out the Ursula Vanessa again on curve. So now he just has 3 characters. And that's a Singer 4, Bobby is 1, Daisy Duck is 1. So that's 6 costs altogether. So he needs maybe 1 more character, and he's going to be able to sing Under the Sea perhaps? Circle of Life? Under the Sea would be pretty bad. Like for us. Okay, so Lilo's gonna sing I'm Still Here. And again, we're probably just doing that because there's nothing that we can challenge in. But I do want to sift through my deck a little deeper just to try to find more outs we can curve into here. Okay, so we're gonna play another Mulan. Drawing us a card, discarding a card. Oh, but I choose not to do that. Interesting. Okay, so we're singing a Strength with Power Line, taking out the Daisy, and then playing Dock on curve, drawing us 2 additional cards. So I'd say we're doing pretty well so far. We're building up our board pretty widely, and then we're also, taking out a lot of his characters as well. So he plays Lady and into an Ursula. We don't have any Sogs in our hand, which is good. Okay, so we're going to play the Ariel here. Ariel is going to give our characters evasive anytime a song is played, but it's just mainly there for us to get Ariel Shift out a little earlier here to wreak havoc. Okay, so we're gonna quest win it with everything, because there's really no point in keeping anything ready right now on passing turn, just because of the risk that he does have the ability to sing stuff. Interesting. So it does look like he's probably going to be singing all together with Lady, Ursula, and Bobby, and that's going to be 8. Oh, he plays out the tramp first. Interesting. Okay, so he plays a tramp, drawing him 4 cards and then discarding 4 cards. Now he's going to be singing all together. Oh, he's going to be singing Under the Sea. So he does play Under the Sea. And that's a huge blowout to us. Man, that really, really sucks. That took out a lot of our characters, only leaving Powerline left on our board. That might have been the blowout that sealed the deal. That's a really crazy card, though. That the fact that you can just sing all together. So we did even have the aerial shift as well, which would have been able to keep us in the game. But unfortunately, without the aerial 3 costs, we might as well just ink it. And then, yeah, playing Dock on Curve again, drawing us 2 more cards and trying to build up the board. But this is tough, because he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters on board right now. And that Tramp 7 cost is just so big. Our characters are pretty weak too. They don't have much willpower either. Our only hope now is maybe getting a power line shift play in. And then maybe double singing with it. Okay, so here comes Circle of Life again, singing with the Tramp and Bobby. And now he can play any character that he likes in the discard for free. Nice, so he plays out the Stitch, drawing him 2 cards. That Stitch also has a really big body. Okay, plays a Yzma, drawing a card, discarding a card. Lady's gonna quest in for 2. Inking a Tramp Enchanted and playing a Scrump. Scrump's a really cool tech here. So what Scrump does is that's a 2-cost item, and you can exert any number of your characters in any order, and it can be multiple times per turn. And by doing so, you give a character on your opponent's side 2 less strength. And this is very, very good, especially with Under the Sea. That's a really cool tech. I actually like that quite a bit, especially because when you go so wide, sometimes you don't even care that your cards are going to be exerted using Scrump's ability, because you're just going to Under the Sea the board away anyways, and then you're just going to quest out for game next turn. I like that strategy. That's a really cool strategy. Mad respect to the Amber Emerald player here. His deck is spicy. Okay, so we play our own Stitch, 4 costs. When it challenges a character and banishes it, we draw a card and gain 1 lore. But it is pretty weak, only at 3/4, and it is probably not going to do too much to be able to take out those bigger characters that he has. And keep in mind that he also does have Scrump out as well, which can reduce the cost or the strength of the Stitch that we just played, making his ability to challenge a little useless. Okay, so Powerline's going to sing Strength of a Raging Fire, dealing 4 damage to a character here. So we're gonna take out the lady. It's the easiest target that also quests for 2. Interesting. And then I quest with the Captain Hook and the Dock. Oh, okay, right. I think maybe because Scrump made the Captain Hook 2 less strength. So that's why I didn't choose to challenge with the Captain Hook. And if he does that to Captain Hook every turn, there's really no point in keeping it ready. So at this point, you might as well just quest for that extra lore. And if he chooses to challenge into it, then so be it. At least, I'd rather have him challenge into my characters than start questing. So I want to slow down the opponent as much as possible to hopefully be able to stabilize, but we'll see what happens because our resources are quite low right now. Okay, so Ursula and Bobby are going to exert themselves with Scrump's ability to -2 strength to Stitch and also Captain Hook again. So how the -2 would work when it comes to Captain Hook is Captain Hook's going to be able to challenge himself, challenge with another character. He's going to gain that 2 additional strength, and then that static ability that minuses 2 strength is going to minus from that, meaning that Captain Hook will then challenge in with only 1 strength. So keep that in mind. At least to my understanding, that's how it works. It's an interesting interaction that I haven't been too used to. It might be that Captain Hook starts off with 0 strength, and then when he challenges, he gets 2. So that might be how that works. Let me know in the comments down below because I'm kind of curious on that actually. Okay, so Stitch is going to sing I'm Still Here. Stitch is not going to be able to challenge into anything with 2 less strength, so we might as well just start drawing ourselves some cards and then giving a resist 2 from I'm Still Here onto another character. And then we're going to quest again with Captain Hook, bringing us to 10. But it's probably going to be too little too late. So we do see a Clarabelle being inked. So good to know that this deck does have Clarabelle. And he plays a lady, which will allow him to take 2 characters, I believe that's cost 2 or less, from the discard back to the hand. And he took a Daisy Duck and an Ursula. Ursula's great because in case like a Pirate's Life just chilling in my hand, he can just rip that out. And then of course that Daisy is just really cheap. You can play it, it's going to close out the game as well. But he probably has enough characters right now. So requesting for 4, taking him to 12, and he does have lethal on board now. Yeah, the only downside is that right now we only have 4 ink with 1 card in our hand. Even if our next card on the top of the deck is Aerial Shift, if we shift that in, we aren't going to have any ink left to be able to use its ability when we play a song to be able to deal 2 damage to, or 3 damage to a character. I wonder what he's thinking about right now. Probably just seeing if it's just worth his while to just keep questing in. Probably is, honestly. Like, even if we challenge into his characters, that Stitch, the Lady, and the Tramp are going to be enough to be able to win. because that's 6 lore right there. That means we have to take out 4 characters next, or this turn. Don't see how we can get rid of this board state here. It's pretty hard. Too bad we don't even have a board wipe of some sort right now, or crowd control clear. Look at how many characters the opponent has right now. He only has like 4 ink. Deck's actually insane. That's such a spicy deck. And here I thought I was going to showcase my Ruby Steel deck, but it might as well be an Amber Emerald showcase at this point. Yeah, I'm just going through all the potential options on what I could possibly draw to try to win this game, or at least come back. Yeah, and I probably realized there's like nothing that I can do. Quite lethal on board. Alright, it looks like I scoop it up. So, there we have it. Ruby Steel versus Amber Emerald. And it looks like Amber Emerald comes back on top. So, very, very spicy deck. Love to see all those cool techs and Circle of Life being played. So, who knows, maybe you might see this type of variation of Amber Emerald in your local meta soon as well. But yeah, once again, thanks for joining. Would appreciate a like and subscribe and comments. And I'll catch you guys in the next one here, okay? Take care. Bye.